It's been over 2,850 days since I made my first £400 investment into my stocks and shares ISA. That's over 7 years of watching the markets rise, crash and do everything in between. Through all that though, investing has been one of the financial mechanisms that's helped me move a lot closer to my own financial goals. So today I wanted to share 3 lessons with you that I've learned along the way. But before we dive into the content guys, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Nothing within this video is an investment recommendation. Always do your own research, and when you're investing, your capital is at risk. Let me be honest with you guys, after 172 days of investing into the stock market, I'd made zero progress. £2,400 invested in total, with a rate of return of minus 5.34%, after my investments had returned me negative £67.42. Now back when I started, investing that amount of money was a hell of a lot of money to me. It was close to a whole month wages in my old banking job. But despite a negative start, I'm glad I stuck with it because the first thing that I learned was that markets reward patience. Now the investments that I made weren't exactly bad investments, even though my rate of return kind of suggested that they were. Instead, what I was actually experiencing was the market testing my patience, which I think every investor probably goes through at some point in time. And it's that patience that's paid off more than I could have ever expected. And I'll show you a little bit of an insight to that in just a moment's time. And that's not just based on my own personal experience, but also from the research that's been done based on the stock market too. In 2023, Morgan Stanley wrote an article called "Good Things Come to Those Who Wait," explaining how the human brain is hardwired to crave dopamine, especially in our dopamine-flooded world of endless scrolling, meaning we can be also distracted from more meaningful pursuits requiring patience and perseverance. But our ability to delay that instant gratification, which we're all programmed for, has also been interestingly linked to long-term success. Let me share with you a Stanford marshmallow experiment from the 1970s. In the study, kids were given one marshmallow and told that they could have a second, but only if they waited 15 minutes without eating the first. What this and subsequent studies tried to prove was that if a kid had that impulsive control and could kind of delay that instant gratification in the pursuit of a preferred reward in the end, then they would potentially have better life outcomes. Regardless of what you think about the conclusions of that test, investing is kind of like a grown-up equivalent of it. It's avoiding the hot stock, the speculative bet, even the panic sell, which are all those kind of single marshmallows that the stock market world can throw at us sometimes. But research from Schroders shows why patience in the market pays, even if our brains aren't programmed for it. The green line on this chart shows the probability of losing money based on an inflationary adjusted basis on an investment into US large cap stocks from 1929 to 2023. And it shows that if you had invested over any 1 month period, you'd have roughly a 60% chance of positive returns, and therefore a 40% chance of negative returns. At 6 months in, or roughly that 172-day point, I was sat in negative market returns where just about 1/3 of investors were roughly sat in. But after 12 months, the odds of positive returns jumped to about 70%. And sure enough, at the time, my portfolio was up 5.3% at that point. At the 3-year mark, the probability of gain was 77%. My portfolio, well, that was up 36.37%, and that was despite the massive pandemic crash at the start of 2020. The data shows that investing for 10 years and the chance of losing money drops to 13%. Stick around for 20 years and that drops to 0%. Yes, there is truth in the fact that the market has never lost money over a 20-year period, even though past performance isn't always a guarantee of future results. Now, if I map those probabilities to my own investing journey, well, I can see how that patience has paid off. Today, the unrealized gains across my 2 stocks and shares ISAs are over £38,300, with £4,599 in banked profit. I waited, I didn't eat those marshmallows, and I've certainly been rewarded for it. But the second thing that I learned that I wanted to share with you today is that semi-boring has been profitable. Those profits from 2,850 days worth of investing and still counting, well, a decent chunk of those profits have quite literally come from semi-boring investments. Now I say semi-boring because there are quite literally a large chunk of my holdings in boring, low-cost, market tracking exchange traded funds which make up the bulk of my investment portfolio. But then there are also some more exciting investments, if you like, that I've also added to my portfolio through individual stock picking. Now, I began to make those individual stock investments over on Trading212 about 900 days into my investing journey. Now, full transparency, some of these individual stock investments have worked out really well for me, and I still hold them within my investment portfolio to this day. But then on the flip side, some other individual stock investments didn't work out so well, and actually cost me hundreds of pounds in lost money from those investments. I guess that realization, knowing that you can actually lose money investing if you're investing into the wrong kind of assets, kind of brought me back to the realization that perhaps individual stock picking over the long term might not have been such an optimal strategy. And because of that, after 2,194 days into my investing journey, I made my last individual stock investment. And since then, I've shifted away from that strategy altogether. Statistically, individual stock picking is extremely difficult to do over the long term. And to kind of demonstrate this to you, I wanted to draw your attention to a little bit of research that's been done by S&P Global at the end of 2024, which shows the percentage underperformance of actively managed stock funds against their assigned benchmark. What this means in layman's terms is, let's say that you've got a UK fund manager that's looking to outperform the FTSE 100, which is the top 100 companies listed on the London Stock Exchange. And to do that, he's going to select what he or she thinks is kind of the best handful of stocks that's going to beat that FTSE 100 index over the space of, say, a 12-month period, which in theory that fund manager should be able to do. They should be the best of the best in terms of those individual stock pickers. After all, they're backed by big investment banks and organizations that have all of the tools and the research and the resources available to them to provide them with, I guess, sufficient foresight to have a best stab at what they think is going to be a stock that's going to outperform the broader index. After all, that's why they supposedly earn the big bucks and why they can charge investors a pretty penny in fees in order to be able to achieve that outperformance. But the reality, as the research suggests, is actually quite different, in that about 70 to 85% of global equity fund managers actually underperformed the S&P World Index. Now, this is just a market tracking index which tracks 1,418 large and mid-cap stocks across 24 different countries. And I've seen some data that actually suggests that this underperformance could actually be worse. Figures up to about 90% of individual fund managers fail to beat their benchmark index. So the question I ask myself is that if these guys and girls fail to beat their benchmark index, what exactly makes me think that I can? Even though I did have some short-term success stock picking, and I certainly made more money than I lost, it's why now I've transitioned into just picking globally diversified market tracking funds over on Trading212, who are also kindly the sponsor of today's video. The Trading212 are a commission-free investing platform that allow you to start investing for as little as £1 across their choice of over 13,000 stocks and ETFs. Aspiring investors can do this via their tax-free Stocks and Shares ISA account, and then by using the Trading212 Pies feature, they can either select a model or social portfolio, or alternatively, you can make your own based on your own investment objectives, research and risk appetite. After selecting the investments of your choice, you can also use their newest AI feature, which gives you an insight into your own portfolio. If I share with you a recent insight on mine, well, it says that I have a growth-focused portfolio, which has high volatility and is of moderate risk profile that requires ongoing monitoring, which I think is still fairly accurate to say, given that I've still got some of the individual stocks within my investment portfolio, along with some of those more broadly diversified funds too. Now, to help you get started, Trading212 are kindly offering all of my subscribers free fractional shares up to the value of £100 when you open an account by clicking on the link down in the description below, or I'll put a little QR code up here on screen for you to scan once you've deposited £1 into your investment account. Alternatively, if you have opened an account with Trading212 in the past 10 days, if you enter the promo code Mitch, you'll still be able to qualify for those free fractional shares up to the value of £100. And thanks again to Trading212 for sponsoring this video. Now, what I've been investing in hasn't been the full story here. There's one more thing that I think has probably been just as, if not more important, and that is consistently helps compounding. The late Charlie Munger once said in a Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting that the first $100,000 is a bit, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000, and after that, you can ease off the gas a little bit. Now, yes, this was a quote from back in the 90s, and if we inflation adjust that number, it's going to be far more than $100,000 or pounds. But I'm going to turn a blind eye to that because I still think achieving a £100,000 investment portfolio is a huge, huge milestone to achieve, and something that if you've done, you should be massively proud of. And it's a milestone that I've just about crossed within my own stocks and shares ISA accounts, or at least depending on what day of the week that you ask me at the moment, because I'm literally like teetering on the edge after 2,850 days of investing. Now, let me be honest, reaching that first £100,000 milestone came from consistency, but achieving the next £100,000 milestone will come from compounding. Let me explain exactly what I mean. To base things on a real life example and to kind of keep things simple, let's just take my Trading 212 ISA, which has about £80,000 in it, give or take at the moment. In the 5 years that I've had this portfolio, I've achieved an unrealized rate of return of 52.5%, which is a compounding annual growth rate of about 8.8%. Now, if I model this growth in a compound calculator and say that I've been doing monthly deposits of about £600 a month or £7,200 a year, and I've been increasing those deposits roughly by about 2.5% per year, you can see the impact that consistency and compounding has on an investment portfolio's value over time. Now, sure, this is all theoretical because what markets don't do is provide a consistent rate of return year in and year out, despite what we've put into this compound calculator. So we're comparing theory with a little bit of my reality, if you like, but it's also the reason why the numbers won't exactly line up perfectly with my actual portfolio. But instead, the trend certainly tells a story. In that first 5 years, 80% of the value of the portfolio is made up from deposits, and that comes from consistency of investing every single month. At the 8-year point, which is where I'm roughly currently at, that shifts to about 70%, with 30% being made up of unrealized profit, where it actually takes about 8.5 years to reach that Charlie Munger milestone of $100,000 or pounds. And even after 10 years, the vast majority of the portfolio, 64% in fact, is made up of hard-earned pounds and pence. I feel like in those first 10 years, that's where consistency is everything. In those early years, it's those regular contributions that have been doing most of the work. But then after about 10 years or so, something shifts. By year 15, the compound effect really starts to take place. Roughly 50% of the portfolio's value is from market gains, the equivalent to over £130,000. And by year 20, over 60% of the portfolio value is actually from market returns, which just shows the power of compound growth doing the work for you. And to demonstrate this, the time it actually takes to progressively reach those additional £100,000 milestones actually reduces over time too. As we've said in this example, it took about 8.5 years to reach that first £100,000, but then only an additional 4.5 years to reach the next £100,000. The next £100,000, well, only 2 years and 4 months after that. And whilst I'm certainly nowhere near those kind of numbers in my personal stocks and shares ISA account, it gives me a little bit of a vision on what's possible for the future based on consistency and compounding. It might just take another few thousand days to get there. So after 2,850 days of investing, here's exactly what I've learned. Patience gets rewarded, boring isn't bad, and consistency leads to compounding. Reaching this £100,000 milestone didn't come because I picked the perfect stock, entered into the market at the perfect time, or just got plain lucky. Instead, it's because I kept showing up even when it felt slow, frustrating, and like the portfolio wasn't really going anywhere. And whilst I'm not where I want to be yet in terms of my overall goals for retirement, at least I know where I'm going and how I'm going to get there, with compounding helping me do some of that work. My hope is that these lessons help you avoid some of the noise and focus on what really matters, which is time, discipline, and doing the boring stuff well. But if you wanted to see what it's like growing an investment portfolio from scratch, well, I did a video where I invested £10 a day over the course of 60 days, which you might want to check out here. With that being said, thanks for watching, and here's to the next 2,850 days of investing.